This is ESBR Boxing. Delighted as always to be joined by Niall. We have just witnessed the weigh-in between Jordan Gill and Zelfa Barrett fighting tomorrow night in Manchester. A super featherweight contest, a compelling super featherweight contest, seen as a real 50-50, I think it's fair to say, amongst most boxing fans. Both Niall and I will probably be giving our predictions at the end. Yeah, but yeah, I think it's a real 50-50 fight, Niall. Thanks very much for jumping on with me to react to that weigh-in. What are your initial thoughts on what we just watched there?
Yeah, I thought it was interesting. We just spoke off camera. The stare down was a very long stare down. There was no theatrics, which was nice to see. It's all kind of focused business mode. But yeah, that was quite interesting how long that lasted. But I thought Jordan Gill looked phenomenal. To be honest with you, I thought he looked in great shape. I thought Gill looked like he could fight tonight. To be quite honest with you, or in a few hours, he looked that good. Of course, he's up now at super featherweight from featherweight, and I had questioned would he be kind of powerful enough to kind of compete at 130. Of course, he had to win against Conlon, but that's quite a tough one to judge of where Conlon is now. But I thought Gill looked phenomenal. He looked fresh, he looked healthy, and he looked in great shape there to me. Yeah,
Very interesting, mate. Yeah, I think the stare down was very interesting, as you like to say. Nice long stare down, but no theatrics, nothing like that. I think both men looked reasonably good on the scales. Jordan Gill coming in 129.5 and Zelfa Barrett just announced heavier at 129.6. So both what about half a pound ish inside the 130 pound 9 stone 4 limit. So yeah, really interesting one, mate. I completely agree with what you've just said there. Although both men looked good, I think, and it's fair to say. I think Zelfa Barrett's a little bit bigger, and I think it looks like he might have struggled a little more to make the weight. Jordan Gill looked superb. He really, really did. You took the words out of my mouth. Honestly, the thing you mentioned there, it's so true. You couldn't even tell, like if you were just walking past him in the street or where
yeah,
you were talking to him, you wouldn't know that he's just weighing in, and being cutting
yeah.
weight or whatever. He looked great, like didn't look drawn at all. Looks, as you
No,
said, really, really healthy. And it just shows you what 4 pounds can do in those lower weights. 4 pounds, is not a lot at all in the grand scheme of
mm,
things. But see, when you're going up from obviously this featherweight to super feather, those 4 pounds are a lot. And it's clearly being a super featherweight. In hindsight, Jordan Gill's probably thinking, "Oh, should have done this years and years ago." You
yeah,
mentioned there, obviously his first fight at super featherweight. I was there ringside with ASBR in Belfast for the Conlon fight. I and 90%, I'd say, of the rest of the boxing public and fans thought that Michael Conlon would have won that fight. We didn't know where Jordan Gill was. The last time we'd seen him was Kiko Martinez. But then, yes, maybe question marks about where Conlon is and whether his chin's gone maybe after the Luis Alberto Lopez defeat. But I think he looked sensational about 130 pounds when I saw him last. So yeah, I think I'm really looking forward to this one. It is a real 50-50, as you say. Zelfa Barrett fought for world honors against Rakhimov, who
yeah.
obviously it stopped Barrett, and then Barrett had him on the deck early on in round three, I think it
Mm.
was. So he's operated at world level himself. Jordan Gill just shy of world level, you probably say. So yeah, real 50-50. I kind of want to ask, without giving your prediction away immediately, Niall, has watching that weigh-in made you slightly change your mind at all? Because you said obviously Gill looked fantastic, but without giving your opinion,
Mm.
final prediction away, has your mind been swayed a little at all?
It actually, normally watching these weigh-ins, it doesn't change my mind too much. And we done a fun predictions video for this myself and Greg, and I picked the who I thought would win, but I thought just Jordan Gill looked so good there that it almost has swayed my opinion a bit, and that will tell you who I have picked to win this one. But Jordan Gill just looked outstanding. Not only physically, he looked so relaxed and so kind of composed. Of course, he mentioned in the aftermath of the Conlon fight, he's kind of overcome his personal demons, which is great to see. It's great to see he's in such a more positive frame of mind. But you can just tell in his whole demeanor and his face, and as I mentioned, the shape he's in, that it almost would change your mind here in this one. But I think I'm gonna stick with who I had originally, which is Zelfa Barrett. I'll say it now. I gave it away too much there, so I'll say it. I'm going for Zelfa Barrett there. In this one, I just think he might he might just have a bit too much for Gill. I don't think Gill does anything particularly better than Zelfa Barrett does. It's a tough one to call though. Gill is riding that wave of momentum. He really is, and he looks so relaxed there, but I've got Zelfa Barrett here by late stoppage. I'll say late stoppage. I do think I will just say though, before you give your own prediction there, I think there is more pressure on Zelfa Barrett here. There's a lot of pressure on both men, of course. The loser of this is going to be a long way back to kind of world level, but I think Zelfa Barrett has a lot more riding on this than Jordan Gill does. To be honest, that's just me personally.
Very, very interesting. Yeah, you were trying your best not to give the prediction away there, Niall,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I think I knew what you were saying. I may as well give my prediction now. And again, I've said this with I was doing the preview with Elliot Grigg. So if you haven't already done so, guys, go on the channel, watch mine and Elliot's preview, as well as obviously Niall's mentioned there the final predictions, which will be coming out tomorrow. So stay tuned for that as well. But yeah, I mean, I said Jordan Gill. I don't know whether I've been heavily swayed because I witnessed his performance in person,
Yeah.
and maybe that's had more of an effect on how I think this fight will play out. But I honestly can't see past Jordan Gill. It sounds ridiculous, but I'm so confident in Jordan Gill winning this fight. Sometimes, like, as even 50-50s, you can't be overly confident in one way or another. But I am really confident that he gets the job done here. I agree with what you've said. It's not that he does so much better than Zelfa Barrett. Similarly, I don't think Zelfa Barrett does so much better than Jordan Gill. I just can't get out of my head the Jordan Gill performance that I witnessed in Belfast in December. And yeah, yeah, it's funny because you going for a Zelfa Barrett stoppage, I'm going for a Jordan Gill stoppage. I think Jordan Gill will stop Zelfa Barrett in the second half of the fight again, probably like you said, late on. So we're going for almost a late stoppage, but completely different fighters, which is interesting.
Yeah.
And you know what? I think if you forget's just testament to how good a fight this is. There's not very
Yeah.
often that we'll come on and react way and final predictions, and our predictions will differ so much. So I think that just shows that this is a good fight. And, two British lads, as you said, putting it all on the line. Long way back from the loser, but I still think they could come again. But the winner is in great shape for a world title shot, in my opinion, next. In
Yeah.
the super featherweight division, depending on what happens with, obviously a lot of the other super featherweight world titles. Obviously, Joe Cordina fighting Belfast, Anthony Cacace on May 18th, a few others as well. Lee Wood being thrown up there maybe into the mix at 130. Really, really intriguing, mate. But yeah, really enjoyed reacting to that way in there with yourself, Niall. Guys, as we said, plenty of other content on the channel. If you haven't already done so, please like this video, share with your friends, whatever. If you think we're talking nonsense, still share it. Tell everyone that we're talking nonsense. If you agree with us, let us know in the comments as well. Who are you backing here? Jordan Gill could maybe cause another potential upset going into Zelfa Barrett's backyard, just like he did Collins in Belfast, this time in Manchester? Or do you think Brian Flash, Zelfa Barrett will get the job done here and propel himself forward to a second world title shot? Niall, appreciate your time as always, mate. Always enjoyed doing these videos with you, and I'll speak to you again soon.
Cheers. Take care.